What's up, guys? Gator Christian Hansen here, and welcome to my review of The Flash, Season 4, Episode 21, otherwise entitled Harry and the Harrisons. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode yet. I go through everything that happens in this episode back to back, okay? So let's get this going. So to start this episode off, we're in the loft with Barry and Iris is writing an article about DeVoe. I think it's great that the writers are trying to put Iris back in that role of being a reporter, because that's what she is in the comics. So I believe, in my own opinion, that's what she should be in the show. Because that's how her character is, how it works. Then we cut to Star Labs, where Caitlin and the team are discussing DeVoe's enlightenment plan, and Cisco is talking about how he thinks DeVoe is going to place the machines that he is building at strategic points around the globe. And Harry is still losing his memories. I hope they fix Harry's memories within the next 2 episodes, maybe even the beginning of Season 5. But we need to have Harrison Wells on the team, because even though, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Season 1 of The Flash, even though the original Harrison Wells from Season 1 was Reverse Flash, there's always been a Harrison Wells on the team, even last season with HR Wells. So yeah, I sure hope they figure out how to help Harry and help him get his intellect back. So in the next scene, Harry and Cisco consult with Wolfgang Wells, where he insults Cisco yet again. I'm starting to find that annoying. And he now insults Harry, which gives Cisco the idea to make the Council of Harrisons, which is basically a group of rejects from the Council of Wells. So yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. I think that they could have worked this in a little better, weaved it a little better, but I guess it'll have to do because it's already been aired, so there's nothing they can really do now. So we cut to the next part of the scene, where Caitlin is trying to get Killer Frost back by doing acupuncture. Ugh, that was weird. So while she's doing that, Joe walks in and asks for some ibuprofen because he has a headache from thinking about all the organic materials needed to stop DeVoe. And he ends up giving Caitlin advice, basically telling her to stop thinking about it scientifically, to go and think about it a different way. So that then gives Caitlin the idea to work with Amunet Black. So Barry and Caitlin are looking for Amunet Black now, but when they find her hideout, they also happen to find Norvok, who basically tells them that she hasn't been heard from in a few months. So he says, in quotes, "The witch is dead." which is causing them to have to go and cross-reference everything. I think that it was a stupid idea to bring Amunet in to begin with, but it is what it is. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but that's my opinion. So we cut back to Star Labs, and Barry just whooshes in. And Iris and Barry start to talk about the article. Now, Barry's still on the fence about telling the city about DeVoe's plan. Basically, he says to wait until she's done with the article, until it's finished, so they can discuss it with the team, and then go from there. I think, yes, at times this show tends to make the character Barry Allen out to be an idiot, but I think this is one of the smartest things he's done on the show in a while. And I like how this was incorporated. So, Caitlin, Barry, and Joe go out in search of Amunet's hideout. Where is she? No one knows. So they cross-reference with Cisco her actual name, which is apparently Leslie. They find the most recent address of where she was last seen. They go there, and Joe and Caitlin are talking about why Caitlin wants to bring Amunet into the fold with the team for this episode, because she's trying to get back Killer Frost. They find Amunet, and Amunet tries to fight with Joe and Caitlin, so Joe just says flash, and Barry speeds in there, and Amunet ends up shooting metal from her arm, which then turns into a boomerang, which Barry just catches and says, "We need your help." And so it cuts back to Star Labs, where the team is basically explaining everything that's going on with DeVoe, and they're trying to convince Amunet that to help them. So Amunet says she's gonna help, but she starts to walk out, and Iris says, "Where are you going?" And this was actually kind of funny to me, because she said she was going to the kitchen to get a spot of tea. I found that funny. So Caitlin says, "Here, I'll bring you," and she brings her into the testing part of the Cortex, I believe, which is where they had the cosmic treadmill. I don't know if they're going to do that at some point in the near future, where they use the treadmill again, but it was there. So, and basically when they're in there, Caitlin makes a deal with Amunet that if Amunet helps Caitlin get back Killer Frost and Caitlin will help Amunet do one job. Just one. Another funny thing that happened in this episode was when it cut back to the Council of Harrisons. They're all sitting in chairs, intervention style, and they're trying to get Harry to open up. And the character development that the show has had for Harry so far shows that he's a very closed off person. likes to keep to himself a bit and just like not let anybody in. I think that stems from where his wife died sometime before season 2. So basically they all start to like meditate, and I don't know, I just found this part funny because after all the other wells went away, Harry asked Cisco what's another word for really big. Cisco says colossal. And Harry says this was a colossal waste of time and kicks a trash can and walks out. I like the dynamic between Cisco and Harry. It's sort of like a father-son relationship. If the father was like a little unstable. It's funny. It's just, I find it funny. Amunet, Caitlin, and Barry go to Amunet's storage facility and find out Norvok is the one who took Amunet's shards. Her organic metal shards. They found that out because there was a vial of venom, metahuman venom, that they had there. About that big, I want to say. Yeah, it was about that big. I wouldn't say it was any bigger than this remote. But, yeah, that was the thing that happened. That's how Amunet figured out it was Norvok. Also, just going on a little tangent here, because of... I realized something when I was watching the episode. Iris... It went... When did Iris become smart? She went 3 seasons being Barry's love interest, not being smart. And now she's creating algorithms? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the direction they're taking Candice Patton's character. But I don't know, it's just something about that story arc with Iris and all of a sudden being smart as of the beginning of season 4 that just like caught me off guard, and I'm just sitting here thinking, wait, when is this a thing? Because Barry was only in the Speed Force for 6 months. It takes at least a year to learn how to create algorithms. I don't know. I just think they could have wrote the story arc better. It's just a little tangent I had to go on because it confused me. So now Barry and the team are looking for Norvok and the shards, and they're in Star Labs, and Joe brought up that Caitlin has ulterior motives, and she reveals why she brought Amunet into this, and that she made a deal with her. And quite honestly, the look on Barry's face when Joe said, is it about stopping DeVoe or is it about Amunet's tech? The look on Barry's face was priceless. He was like, wait, what? What tech? It was funny. So now we cut to Cisco and Harry. Harry is packing up his workstation because he thinks he's not going to be able to be a part of the team anymore because he's losing his intellect. He ends up walking it Cisco ends up walking in, and Harry and Cisco share some dialect, and Harry ends up apologizing to Cisco, and he said the Council of Wells may have been right about having to put himself in DeVoe's shoes. So he came up with a plan to think like DeVoe, which gets culminated in the end of the episode. And Irish finished her article. She brought it to Barry, but he's still on the fence about it. I guess that just goes with being the Flash. You're just iffy about certain things. You don't know if it's gonna work or not, so you don't know that you can trust a certain plan like this one to tell everybody in Central City about DeVoe and his plan to basically purify the world from all its memories, from everybody losing their memory, like what's going on with Harrison. I don't know. I like the story arc with DeVoe. I know a lot of you guys don't like that this season's big bad isn't a speedster, but we've had that for 3 seasons. I think it's due time that we get a big bad that Barry doesn't have to outrun. He has to outthink him. I don't know. I just like the idea of Barry having to use his brain to solve this and not his speed, because he always is. He's always relying on his speed. I don't know. It's just, yes, he's the Flash, and he can rely on his speed, but he's also a CSI. He went to school to do crime scene investigation. He is very intelligent. He is a very good scientist. And the way the show is written, time and time again, they turn him into an idiot, and it pisses me off. So then we cut to Caitlin sitting in the particle accelerator area thinking, and Amunet walks in. Because Caitlin had exploded on Joe, and when she was talking about her ulterior motives, she was not pleased that Joe brought that up. I don't know why, I don't really get it, but it is what it is, I guess. So Amunet reveals to Caitlin that the splicer didn't cure her. It's all in Caitlin's mind. Basically, the answer she needs to get Killer Frost back is not going to be found in science. She has to go about it a different way. I think this leads into next week's episode. Because from the promotional stuff that I saw, it looks like Caitlin's getting new powers. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's what it looked like. Because she was wearing an outfit similar to Vibe. Similar to Cisco's. With the glasses, the black. It was very similar. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's going to continue to use the cold gun for now. I don't know. Okay. That's when Amunet realizes that she realizes where Norvok is. So And so begins the final battle of the episode. When Barry and the team go to get the shards from Norvok, he is making a deal, and so he ends up popping his eyeball out, and this like tentacle snake thing, I'm just gonna call it the snake, like comes out and poisons Barry, shoots venom and venomous gas like season 1 The Mist, the villain from season 1 The Mist, like how he like turned into poisonous gas. It was like that kind of gas, but it was different on a molecular level. On a molecular level, it was different somehow. But anyway, Amunet tries to kill Norvok after Norvok poisoned Barry, and so while all this is happening, Caitlin and Joe are in a shootout with the guys that Norvok was making the deal with. And so Caitlin ends up using the cold gun on the ceiling, and Joe shoots the spikes, the icicles from the ceiling, and they come crashing down and basically take out the guys that were shooting at them. So Barry's like, when the Time Wraith, no, like when Black Flash put his hand on Barry's chest in season 3, and Barry like started to get all old, like you could see his veins and stuff. That's basically what was happening because of the poison. So he asked Iris to try to come up with a way for him to not be poisoned, and she couldn't do that. So she ended up telling him, you've got to phase out of it before it reaches your heart. So he sat there for a while, actually, trying to phase the poison out of him. It was very interesting to see. I don't know. It was something interesting about that. And after he got the venom out of his system, Barry had to stop Amunet from killing Norvok. So basically, him and Caitlin talked her down. She took the metal off of Norvok's head, which was suffocating him. And they convinced her not to kill him, but she ended up cutting the tentacle snake thing off out of his eye with a shard of metal. She said, the snake has to go. At least the snake has to go. And she was getting ready to leave. But then they brought up the thing about DeVoe and her helping. And she ended up saying that she wasn't going to help, and started to leave. But then they talked some more. They had more dialect. And basically she made an organic concussive bomb, like what Sand Demon used, but this one's organic. So she made a concussive bomb out of the shards, and she gave it to Caitlin. So we cut back to Star Labs, and Barry swooshes in, as usual. So Barry and Iris tell the team about the article, and Iris publishes the article. And at the end of the episode, the city responded pretty well. They want to help, meaning they want to help them, meaning that DeVoe can no longer hide from the Flash. Okay, so this episode was pretty jam-packed, but it was mostly filler. It was a mostly filler episode, but I think the episode was a good segue into the final battle with DeVoe. I think if they keep on this path, they are gonna end the season on a high note, and it'll be fun to see what happens in season 5. So yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens in season 5. Okay, guys, that's all I have for this one. Please like, share, subscribe for more content, and you can join the Gator Army by subscribing and hitting that notification bell, so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Stay cool, and I will see all you guys in the next one.